Welcome back, everyone. It is Friday evening, and a very warm welcome to you all, wherever you're watching from right across the world. We have our usual guest, Danny. Good evening, Danny. How you doing, mate?
I'm very good, mate. And you?
I'm absolutely fine, Danny. Thank you. And we've got a new guest for many of you tonight. His name is Kev, or Kevin, whichever you prefer. I'm sure he doesn't mind
Either.
whatever you call him. I've called him a few things in my time, but he's an all-round good egg, good lad, an old friend. And Kevin's on the show for a very particular reason tonight, which we'll get to in just a few moments. First of all, Kev, it looks like a nice balmy summer's evening there in the UK. What's the weather like?
Yeah, it's been beautiful today. Yeah, we've had a really lovely summer's day and a very nice evening. Yeah, so I thought I'd take the opportunity to sit outside.
I think it's been hotter in the UK today than it is in Spain.
Yeah, quite probably.
So I'm told, anyway.
I'm not just
making him feel better, Paul. You're just making him feel better.
Yeah. By the way, Kev, that's a lovely shirt you got on. I really like that.
Oh, thank you. Pink.
Very, very nice indeed.
Brings out my feminine side.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've heard about that, Kev. Does the wife use it as a tablecloth if you got the family coming around?
Yeah, it's a bit of gingham. Yeah.
Things ain't changed, Kev, have they? Things ain't changed.
All joking aside, Kev, I'm really liking that. It's very nice. Danny, how you been?
I'm all right, mate. Just had so much going on for the last couple of weeks. It's unreal, as you know.
Just looking at some of the chat coming in. Good evening to everyone. There's currently 350 people watching. I'm sure that number's going to grow quite substantially because actually I said 9 o'clock originally, and then I realised we're an hour ahead. I said 9 o'clock, which would have been anyway. We're an hour earlier than usual. It's just gone 8 p.m. at home back in the UK. Lots to talk about tonight, guys. First of all, Kev, tell me, audience, because a lot of the people watching now will not have seen you before. Some of the old watch audience will, of course, know you quite well. But tell us a little bit about yourself. Just introduce yourself briefly to the audience.
Well, my name is Kevin Allen. I live in Bagshot in Surrey. I'm a prestige car dealer, and we were doing videos together back in 2020, and that introduced me to I created my own YouTube channel from that. Having been on many trips with you and being in front of the camera gave me the confidence to stand in front of the camera myself, and now part of my business is advertising my cars on YouTube.
And you can find your channel over at
Stream Cars Bagshot, and the business is streamcars.co.uk.
Excellent. And like I say, Kevin's an old friend. Kevin's not a political guy. He's just he's a car dealer, a car expert. We met through the watches, and Kevin's also a big watch man. And as I said, an all-round very, very nice guy, lovely individual. Boys, look, we're going to revisit the watch trade tonight, unfortunately, because of the very, very sad and unfortunate news this week of another life lost to violent London, to watch crime. Blue Stevens, a 26-year-old father of 2 young children.
It was 24, Paul. 24.
There's a couple of reports, Danny. The latest one is, but age between 24 and 26, but the latest is 26. But whatever. The point of the matter is, he's very young, a beautiful soul, a lovely family by all accounts, a well-known family. And tragedy,
me, actually.
Yeah, not far from you, Kevin. I mean, just absolutely shocking, just absolutely awful. I mean, guys, we've all been involved in the watch industry and the watch trade and watches itself and the violence that comes with wearing luxury watches. First of all, Kev, what did you make of that obviously sad news? Unfortunately, though, it doesn't come as a surprise to a lot of us, does it?
It doesn't. We've seen it before. Terribly sad. Yeah, like I say, local boy to me, living in Yateley. That's about 5 or 6 miles from me here. Not someone I knew, but I believe he was from a traveller family and probably a boxer. So I suspect he stood up for himself, and that could have been the reason that he got attacked. Apart from the fact that he was attacked for the watch, that
I think his granddad was a pro. I'm not sure, but I believe his grandfather was a professional boxer. May have fought John Conte.
Oh right.
So
Back in the day,
light heavyweight.
Yeah, but Danny, I mean, terrible news. I mean, obviously, thoughts and prayers and all the usual stuff go out to the family. I mean, I don't even know how you can begin to get your head around such a terrible thing.
I believe he was out, Paul, with his wife in
Yeah.
a restaurant. I don't know whether you want to mention the restaurant, but he was out with his wife in the restaurant. Obviously, it looks like it. I mean, look, we don't know, but it could be a targeted attack. So someone might have done the old spotting, seen the situation, reported that he had a nice watch on. I don't even know what the watch was, but reported he had a nice
Date
watch.
just apparently a two-tone
Okay.
date just
So
apparently.
in fairness, and not a real. I mean, look, don't get me wrong, a very expensive watch, but not high end. It ain't a Richard Mille or a solid gold, Daytona or whatever. But nonetheless,
Sorry, I was just laughing at the comment. Groucho Marx says, "Who's the guy in the tablecloth?"
Getting it hard already.
Look, right, it just highlights again problems in London, especially to do with watches, high-end watches.
Yeah.
Value doesn't seem to come into it so much because of date just, and I'm not disrespecting a date just, but it's the lower end of the Rolex market. Regardless of that, obviously, as I understood, he put up a bit of an argument with it, as probably a lot of people would.
As he would, yeah.
There was an incident where he was plunged, and unfortunately, it seems to have hit an artery around his heart. So it's horrific.
I mean,
Absolutely horrific.
just shocking. I think the point or the issue that I want to talk about tonight is that for me personally, as you guys are very well aware, this has been a long-standing issue for me, a long-standing fight, a long-standing battle. And one of the reasons I wanted Kev on the show tonight is because Kev actually, being a big watch guy, Kev travelled around the world with me in our efforts to try and slow down or even potentially bring a halt to watch crime. Unfortunately, it failed. And it failed because, for me, it failed, Kev, because there were, maybe it wasn't a perfect platform, but people got on our backs right from the very beginning. People were trying to dismiss right from the very beginning. And I just wonder how they're feeling tonight when people like ourselves, we put so much work, so much effort, and indeed so much money into desperately trying to halt watch crime, slow down the rate of watch crime. But you know what, guys, I just honestly don't think they care. I mean, for anyone that doubts the efforts that was put in to halting watch crime and the things that I've said in the past, this is a very short Sky TV appearance involving myself. This goes back now, I think, just over 2 years. Let's just watch this.
Followed, threatened and beaten for their watches.
Oh, I'm calling police! I'm calling the police!
On the streets of Britain, watch thefts are on the rise.
And there's a break there, and a break there.
Nick Triggs and his wife were attacked at random and robbed in West London last January.
A black BMW X5 screeches to a halt beside me. The door opens, a guy gets out and smashes me on the left cheekbone. There's another person showing me a 15-inch machete. I think, is he going to kill me? Another one, I think the first guy shouts, "Give me your watch."
After a police helicopter chase through central London, a gang of 6 men were eventually caught and convicted over a rampage of violent robberies.
Nick was targeted near South Kensington, one of the wealthiest parts of London. These are the sorts of areas the gangs operate in. They'll wait outside high-end restaurants or bars, even watch shops, and they also use social media to find their victims. If you post a picture of your expensive watch, say with your live location, well, they know where to find you.
In many areas, it's actually overtaken drugs as the crime of choice for some criminal gangs. Drugs are obviously very dangerous to carry, to hold, to transport, whereas watches are very simple and very rarely questioned. As an example, you can't get on a plane with a kilo of cocaine, but you can get on a plane with £1 million for stolen watches, and I very much doubt that anyone will even bat an eyelid. The criminal gangs know this, they use that to their advantage.
Since 2015, the number of watches stolen in England and Wales has nearly doubled. More than 11,000 were stolen last year, over half here in London.
So here we have a Rolex Daytona with a mother of pearl dial with diamond indexes.
Since the pandemic, there's been a boom in the value of second-hand watches. That's what's driving the criminals.
Not a lot of watches were produced, so the value increased massively. This would have been around £100,000 just before lockdown. Today it's around 185,000.
Danny's become so worried he's now offering a free chauffeur service to get customers home safely. These gangs have clearly found an easy way to make a lot of money, with little care of how their brutal violence scars their victims. Rachel Venables, Sky News.
So there you go, guys. I mean, that's from more than 2 years ago. And as you lads all know, my fight against watch crime has been going on for donkey's years. I mean, nothing's changed, unfortunately. Another life lost, another crime in Sadiq Khan's crime capital city of London. What do we do to try and stop this, Danny?
I mean, every single person can sit there and you've got to think, plan ahead where you're going. If you're going into London now, ask yourself the question: is it worth me wearing a watch that's worth fortunes? Is it worth me wearing a solid gold watch? Is it worth me having a short sleeve shirt on? If you've got a long coat on with but then what's the point in wearing it if it's not being seen? It's difficult, Paul, but it's hard, mate. At the end of the day, there needs to be harsher sentences for watch crime. I don't know. I don't really know where to go from that, Paul. Just plan ahead. If you're going to go to a nice fancy restaurant, it's nice to wear a nice watch. Don't get me wrong, it is. But if you're going with your wife and stuff, do you want to put both yourself and your wife in that situation of being vulnerable when you leave the property?
And it shouldn't be the way, though, Danny, is it? I mean, I did an interview on the BBC and they asked me, is it time to stop wearing luxury watches? And, whilst it, in all honesty, in London, it bloody is. I mean, we shouldn't have to go down that route, should we? In a modern Western society, we shouldn't have to leave our luxury goods, if you've got luxury goods. I mean, don't forget, only last year, this epidemic started spreading out towards luxury clothes, Canada Goose jackets, etc.
The main one, wasn't it? Yeah.
Being stolen from people in the street at knife point. I mean, Kev, you're a big watch guy. Have you changed your habits over the years, your wearing habits?
I totally have. Yeah, I've sold a lot of the more expensive ones, and I just daily now at G-Shock or something of lesser value, something that's probably not recognisable, certainly not flashy at all. Whilst I can enjoy and appreciate a nice watch, and I thought the values had dipped sufficiently to make it maybe a compelling purchase again now that the values are back down. But yeah, having the opportunity to wear a nice watch really is so awkward that I don't tend to do it very much anymore.
Yeah, Mephistopheles says, rest in peace, Blue. Absolutely. Mark says, London is a disgrace.
To be fair, Paul, it's not just London.
It's not just London. No, of course it's not, Danny, but it is.
It is London.
The problem with London is this. Look, as you guys know, again, I've worked with the Met over this. I've been with the flying squad on talking about watch crime and listening to their issues. Now, a couple of guys that were in the flying squad, let me tell you a little story about those guys, because these are proper. They're out in the cars. They don't mess about. They're in there. They're in some dirty places, right? They was working on one case for about 18 months, tracking down a gang of watch criminals that had been robbing people off the back of mopeds, etc. When they caught the gang, and bearing in mind that some of this gang had been involved in strangulation tactics, where they come behind the victim, grab them around the neck, and put them into the point of unconsciousness.
To nick their watch.
Some of these people got a suspended sentence. And they were, the guys in the flying squad were livid.
I know, after all that work.
They put 18 months of graft into tracking these people down. And the buggers are back out on the street the next day.
It's soul destroying for the police, isn't it?
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, Kev, you know, as I said, you travelled around the world with us to certain places to, try and speaking with law enforcement agencies, etc. What did you make of that experience?
Oh, I enjoyed it. We got to go to some fantastic places and meet some really great people, saw some fabulous watches, of course. And yeah, it was the height of the I suppose the resurgence of watches, and everybody wanted one, and they were going up in value every week. So, if you bought a watch for, let's say, £10,000 one day, in a fortnight's time, it would be worth 11 or 12,000, and it was just like buying money. Everyone wanted particularly a Rolex or a Patek or an AP, and it was exciting to be around that industry.
Yeah. That's Kev, that was part of the problem though, wasn't it? In all honesty, it attracted, the watch industry started to attract some pretty ugly people.
Certainly did, yeah.
Anywhere where there's money, anywhere where there's big business, there's bad people, right?
And easy pickings.
Easy pickings, yeah. And there's nothing easier than someone that's maybe on their own, rolled out of a pub or a nightclub or a bar at 1 o'clock in the morning, and Bob's your uncle. But for anyone looking, go on, Danny.
Got the hugger muggers, Paul.
Yeah.
Spain has got a certain. One of my friends, funny enough, went to Benidorm. He had a Rolex James Cameron Deep Sea. He went in a bar called Chaplin's. He had the watch on in the bar because he had photographs taken with his friends there, and the watch was on his wrist. He left there. A couple of girls started hanging around and sort of trying to cuddle him and stuff. He said, I mean, bear in mind he'd had a few beers, but he said there was no way they had his watch. He walked to the kebab shop, which was just round the corner. I went in there the next day because I went up to meet him. I went in there the next day and asked to see their CCTV. The guy was very kind enough to show us it, and he didn't have the watch on. So between leaving that bar and arriving at the kebab shop, someone had it off of him. So you have to be careful with the hugger muggers as well. It's not always violent ones. It's they're so well trained, mate. They're gone. Your watch is gone before you know it.
Let me just get this one up. Thank you, Trish. The Trash Panda. You're probably going to block me, but people are saying that MI5 got to you and Danny at your airport stops, and this is why you are trashing reform. I was interviewed by MI5 in the 1990s due to Irish O'Keefe name. Danny, did MI5 get to you?
No.
You're lucky if MFI, more like MFI.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's a well-known fact, isn't it? I went back to the UK back in April. I had a massive problem when I went back there, which I won't go into again. If anyone wants to watch it, it's back on Paul's channel. Back in April time, and but it wasn't MI5, and there's no way that I've spoke about trashing reform because I've since that time.
You've not been speaking about politics.
I've left politics right on the head. I said I was going to do it, and I have done it. I've not.
What I would say, what my answer to that would be, listen, there's a lot of people saying a lot of things, and 99.999% of it is just complete and utter YouTube nonsense. And that's it. There's no big story to it. I haven't been trashing reform, by the way. I think Nigel Farage has done a good job of trashing reform himself. Let's have a little look. All to be. Come on, guys, give Danny some help and watch his channel. The old man's already famous. Laughing out loud.
Yeah,
so that
you ain't even give me a shout out yet, Paul.
I've not. Oh, well, Danny in Spain.
Danny in Spain. I mean, I'm streaming this video as well. You know, obviously I haven't got as many people watching my channel as Paul has. I've got a super chat there from Ian. Can you see that, Paul? Ian Nicholson.
Let's have a little look. I'll come down to it. Might be on your channel, Danny. If it's on your channel,
well,
there's
Ian
nothing
Nicholson
I can do.
has put 3 words for Dan: auction Birkin bag. Right now, Sophie, it's no secret. Sophie wants a Birkin bag. There was one auction today. How much did it go for?
Oh, go on.
Well, it might not have been
grand.
today. It might have been a couple of days ago. £7 million for a
What?
leather bag.
More money than sense.
Do you know what I mean?
Insane.
Absolute insanity. But anyway, there you go.
There it is. Ian Nicholson. 3 words for Dan. Auction Birkin bag.
There you go.
And he sent you a super chat
Ian,
towards
like
it.
I said, I need to borrow £7 million off you, mate, and I'll buy it for. I'm good for it.
Don Keefe, OTI. Thank you very much. Charlie Bentley Aston made a worthwhile point to Ian Collins today. Sadiq Khan and the like probably see the watchmuggers and knife wielders as victims of an unfair society. Oh, I mean, it's just absolute insanity. But as I said, you know, that happening this week brought a lot of things back to me because, as I said, for years we've been fighting this battle. Nobody really wanted to know. The police were very rarely of any help, apart from the boys at the flying squad, who were actually really, really good, to be fair. And I've remained friends with some of those people because they're proper coppers. They are people that want to catch the bad guys. That's why they're doing the job that they do. I think, Kev, you got to meet some of those guys, didn't you?
No, I didn't know.
You didn't?
No. Well, I only saw the videos. We went and did a silly video in Oxford Street, didn't we? One day where you were walking around to see if we could hunt the robbers, but we didn't find anyone.
We've done a few videos as well, Paul, didn't we? Going around with David Khalil and another big watch dealer in London, just sort of pointing out how people are getting. This was years ago. I mean, I've known Kev. How long have we known each other now, Kev? 4 or 5 years?
Well, yeah, since the watch shows, I suppose, back in 2021.
Yeah, a few years now.
Jack says nothing but chaos.
Sad world we're living in, mate.
Vera says Kevin looks extremely smart. At least he has a shirt on.
Paul, I just want to say you was giving Kev a bit of stick. You was giving Kev a bit of stick just now. That jacket you was wearing on Sky News was very similar. I had to have Kev back there, mate, giving him some stick.
I just got a nice comment on my channel. I put out a video today of me delivering a car down to Somerset and collecting a car, and one of the car dealers that watches the channel said, "Oh, you've got great arms." He said, "You obviously go to the gym."
There you go.
There you go. Archu says, Paul, can I ask, please, without sounding nasty, you have PTSD and yet you are showing violent watch crime. Archu, look, it doesn't sound nasty at all. My PTSD issues, which I've opened up to in the past, go back to the 3 robberies that I've been a victim of. I'm not going to go through them again. I've spoken about them plenty enough. But part of the therapy for me is not to forget. Part of the therapy for me is to highlight these issues and let other people that have been through these issues know that they're not alone. The aftertaste that it leaves in your mouth, it doesn't go away. It's no good trying to pretend it will. And the more you try and pretend that you've forgotten about it, the more you think about it.
Yeah.
So the best thing to do is to open up your heart, open up your mind and your eyes and deal with it in the way in which I personally dealt with it. And everyone deals with their post-traumatic stress disorder, which I do happen to think is an overused term. You know, people get a parking ticket and claim they got PTSD. But with all due respect, I mean, you boys know, you two know personally what I've been through, and it ain't pretty. In fact, my doctor told me that a lot of people that have been through less than I've been through have not made it through the other end.
Easily, yeah.
You know, so my way of dealing with PTSD is to try and fight back at the very people who caused me to be in the position that I'm in.
There's another super chat just popped up, Paul. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, I just need to get this one out of the way because Chris, this is actually incorrect, my friend. Unless we're talking about a different case, there was 4 black guys who killed a guy for his Patek Philippe that turned out to be fake, and he was also another black guy. So the victim was also a black guy as well. I believe he was a musician.
You're a film producer, weren't you, Paul? I think he was a film producer.
One of the two, but he was killed for a Patek Philippe that was fake. That also was in London.
Yeah.
Utabe says, unfortunately, Ant Middleton won't get in because of the cultural demographics. So, you know, that could be the case. I think he's going to struggle to get in. Yeah, Alan says Paul was a big advocate for watch crime as he suffered awful consequences himself. I did indeed. And if anyone's interested in those, look, all the videos, all my watch experience videos, most of them are still up, including the robberies, etc., the way the police reacted to them, my trips out with the police, they're all up there for people to watch. Peter describes them as undomesticated animals. Couldn't agree more. John, did you see Paul's jacket? that was tame, mate.
Back in the day.
Calm the woke mayor. I mean, look, you know, what is the answer? So let me give you my answers for a start. First of all, and I said this in a video the other day, you know, we've been warning about this for years. We've been talking about it for years. We've been telling people about it for years. Nothing has happened. And the reason nothing changes, boys, is because the sentences, the deterrence aren't there. When anyone commits crime, they always look at the risk versus the reward. It's the same in a lot of businesses, risk versus reward. Now, the risk for these guys in London, these street rats, is very, very low. And the reward can be very, very high. So it doesn't take a lot of working out. Now, what you have to do all along, our vision with Digital Watchful, which was the platform that we'd hoped would put an end to all this nonsense, and I seriously and genuinely believe to this day that we had the answer, we had the winning ticket. But one of the things you've got to do is you've got to take away the reward and you have to increase the risk. And by increasing the risk means heavy sentences. I mean, very heavy sentences, not a year, 2 years. I was listening to a case yesterday, and I'm trying to think what the guys were guilty of. They were guilty of some heinous violent crime. It was horrible. Can't remember exactly what it was, but it was a disgusting, vile, violent crime. And at the end of the report, the newsreader said, and they got a combined 22 years in jail. Now, if you're casually listening to that, all you hear
sounds a lot.
is 22. 22 years in jail. That's the takeaway for most people. 22 years is the takeaway from that sentence. So let's have
10 of them. If there's 10 of them.
No, there was 2 of them.
Okay.
So there's 2 of them. But let's break that 22 years in jail. Let's break that down. There's 2 of them. So that's 11 years each. Less 40%. Sorry, less 60%. Because they're now
less
getting
than 5 years.
Exactly. They're now getting up to 60% off their allocated sentences. So we're talking when the newsreader says 22 years in jail, that sounds, well, that's a hefty sentence. But in truth, they're out in 5.
Or less.
Or less. So until the courts and the judicial system starts to come down really, really hard on these people, and I include not just the luxury watch robbers, I include right down to the mobile phone robbers as well, because it's a natural progression. They start off with the phones and they progress from there. What happens is they get their confidence with the phones, they learn their tricks of the trade with their phones, they learn their escape route with the phones. Now, when I went out with the Met in an undercover car, you realise how difficult it is, because these guys are on electric bikes. They're on these Surons that do 50 mile an hour, electric, right? So they're silent for a start. And these bikes can go down alleys and roads and sidewalks like you wouldn't believe. And no police motorcycle or police bike vehicle is going to get after them. So, you know, sentencing is key, and you need to catch them early. Now, 99.9% of these kids or these lads, men, whatever you want to call them, animals that are caught, it's not their first offence. It's usually their second, their third, their fourth, their fifth offence. Why do we keep arresting these people and throwing them back out on the street with a slap on the wrist to do the same goddamn thing again? And I'll bet you this, if and when these people are caught, you know that it won't be the first time they've done this. You know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it makes my blood boil, because once again, there's a family without their son tonight. All this could have been avoided. We've been battling for goddamn years to get this shit sorted out, and nobody's taken any goddamn notice. In fact, it's been the opposite, Kev. As you very well know, we've had people within the watch space itself trying to put down the efforts to stop watch crime. Why? God knows why they've done it.
Yeah, well, jealousy, I think. Some very high profile people that don't deserve to be spoken about, that really kicked it in the teeth, didn't it?
I mean, let's be fair. They're not the only reason that things didn't work out, but they played a very big role in it, in trying to make sure that any efforts that were made to slow down the rate of watch crime were ridiculed and seen as something that it wasn't. And by the way, this was a completely and utterly free service to everyone, Kev, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, free to users, cost you thousands.
It cost a lot of people thousands, many thousands. But that's how much we all cared, and that was the thanks that we got for it. But it is what it is. I mean, but it's just, there's no way that this is going to stop until the risks outweigh the rewards.
And also, Paul, we've got to get to the end user, haven't we? A lot of people know they're buying a snide watch, like a stolen watch. So they need to be pulled in. If you get caught with it, then you need to be linked with the serial number that's linked to the crime that originally, originated the watch theft. At the end of the day, if you know, I mean, some people don't get me wrong, but if you do know, you certainly need to be pulled in and questioned, don't you? You know?
Absolutely, 100%. And you have to look at where these watches are going. But
if there's no end sale, is it? If there's no end user, then the watches become invaluable to Nick, don't they?
Look, Danny, I was around the watch trade for best part of 4 decades, and let me tell you now, the amount of fraud and crime that is involved in the background of the watch industry, and I'm not talking about the people within the industry itself, although there were 1 or 2 of them, right? Don't I know about that, right? But the amount of fraudulent attempts, the amount of money laundering that was going on, all sorts of shenanigans. And frankly, the police have looked at it in the past and just really pretty much turned the blind eye to it. And this, I'm afraid, is the bloody result. I wrote an article back in 2011. 2011. I wrote an article warning that all this was going to take place, that lives would be lost unless we got a grip of this right now. That was in 2011, and it's still happening today. Nothing will change.
This is very close to us, but I think maybe a lot of the general public don't know. When I speak to people that come and buy cars from me, we might get on to talking about watches, and a lot of them are not aware of the what we know about in the industry. They know that values went up. They know that some watches were desirable, but they're just not as clued up. And I think there's a lot of perhaps tourists and people in general that aren't fully aware of the risks. So maybe there should be a campaign to highlight that.
Yeah. I mean, I remember I've been in London. I can't remember who was with us. It might have even been one of you two guys, but I remember being in London and speaking to American tourists and imploring them to take their watches off and put them in their bags.
Mm-hmm.
You know, saying, listen, guys, you can't wear that around here. You know, you're putting yourself in real danger. Michael Gerard, if you're rocking with Essex, with bars,
only way is Essex.
It's Essex bars, Danny, and the long fella, what do you expect?
If you're rocking with the only way is Essex with bars, well, I used to have a bar, which is quite well known, which was on that television show. And the long fella, I mean, I know who they're referring to, but I don't really see the connection between my bar and the long fella.
Nina Vanana, thank you very much, Nina. Hi, my lovelies. I've been away and other things, missed you all, but I'm back. Lovely to see you, Nina. Hope you're all well. On the negative side, London has become a cesspit. Love to you all, and God blesses, as always, Nina. Thank you very much, sweetheart. Yeah, I mean, it's just absolutely shocking. John Smith, mass deportations of illegals and freeloaders. Well, I won't ask Danny or Kev for a comment on that, but I'll tell you, I agree entirely. Yes, Moonraker. Charlie Veach was in Bradford yesterday. It's hell there. It's not on my must-visit list, I must admit. Christian Defender says, trust the deep state protectors. Yeah, they will defend you 8 minutes after the incident. God, I wish they turned up in 8 minutes for me, mate. It was an hour and a half before they turned up for me. John and Moonraker, big Nick Tanconi fans. The only thing is, Jack, we don't have a presidency in the UK, so there's not much chance of that happening, I'm afraid, mate. Well, look, here's the thing. Someone's saying there, it's sad. There we go, Glenn. Sad when you have to think twice about what watch you put on before you go shopping. Well, look, it's not only that, is it? It's also about the clothing that our women wear. You know, young girls going out wearing certain outfits. You know, that was a topic that came up on the BBC when I spoke about it. They said, should you wear a luxury watch out? I said, well, that's like having to tell your daughters that they can't wear a skirt out at night because it's too dangerous. Is that the society that we want to live in?
I had a friend that was mugged for her sandals in London.
Really? Sandals?
Sandals, wow. Hermes sandals.
That's incredible. What size were they, Kev?
It wouldn't have fitted you.
Sorry, I had to say. Oh dear. Flight time. I watched Ben Habib on Liam's channel. A very intelligent, articulate and passionate man. There is hope. Steve Wright, all round Danny's nice gaff, Paul, bit of class. Thank you very much, mate. Let's have a little look down here. Speaking says, guys, do you still have your watch collections? Danny, do you?
I do. Most of mine is in the UK in a bank vault, funny enough. I don't get to wear as many. I'm wearing tonight a Duckworth Prestex. I wasn't actually aware that we was doing a watch chat tonight until right at the very last minute. But these watches are fantastic. They're made by a British brand and not fortunes, but still a lot of money, but you know, in the hundreds rather than the thousands. And they're a fantastic little brand. I wear these type of watches.
I've got one of those. They're great watches, aren't they?
Really nice, aren't they, mate? Yeah.
Yeah, they are very good. Good value for money.
I've still got a collection, which I'm going to keep for the long term. So I don't really wear them. It's a bit like a couple of cars I've got. They're in a, you know, they're not even kept in my house now. I park them at a barn. a secure bomb, but you know, they're not really to be used and worn. Really, it's more of a long-term thing for me, to be fair.
How safe do you guys, in a comment, let me know. I mean, in your local area, obviously you're not all in London, you're dotted all around the world, but how safe do you feel in your area when you go out now, whether it be day or night? I don't know. Let me know how you're feeling these days. John Smith, yeah, I heard this stat earlier on. An estimated 1.7 million illegals in the UK, 24 Wembley stadiums. Get the picture. Wow. Absolutely incredible. Jack, I've got to be honest with you, my friend. This is, look, why aren't I telling people to get behind UKIP? I'll give you a very good answer, Jack, and that's, can we leave it at that, please? I don't believe in UKIP. They don't stand a chance. I mean, look, I like Nick. I like UKIP. I like its people. We all believe in the same kind of things, but I want to back a winner. I want to back someone that can actually do the job, that can actually get there. And I don't believe that UKIP can do that. If you do, you have every right, and I respect your views. But unfortunately, look, Jack, I want Fulham to win the Champions League next season, but I ain't going to win it. So I'm not putting any money on it. Nothing will please me more than to see my Fulham win the Champions League. But would I put 100 quid on it? I'd be wasting my money, wouldn't I? So, Jack, obviously you're a big UKIP man, and I respect that, and I understand why, because we are all on the same side. But let's keep it real, please.
That question, Paul, that you was in just now. Boss Levels has said, I was born in London, nothing new. A lot of people are saying, fine where I am, Paul. In my area, it's fine going out. I feel safe in my area, but don't leave my area. That seems to be a little thing. You obviously know the areas that you
if you know the area.
You feel comfortable there, but going out maybe to central London, Mayfair and stuff like that, that's where the targets are, isn't it? Because there is money there. Yeah. And it does seem that does seem to attract a certain amount of crime.
Yeah. O to B says, Paul's right. I've got complex PTSD, military. Thank you for your service. And can confirm it's good to talk. Thoughts that are harbored are not good. Absolutely. Some of my best therapy, in fact, some of my only therapy, to be honest, has been to be able to talk about it. Jim says, if it was fake, why didn't he give it up and laugh at them? Unfortunately, Jim, they didn't give the poor bloke a chance.
Are we talking about? Oh, you're talking about the original, the film producer guy. Yeah. See that? I mean, it's bad enough to get robbed for a real watch, but for someone's life to be taken over a fake watch is even worse, isn't it? I mean, it can't get any worse, can it?
Danny, I don't think it really matters. The loss of a life. I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
I mean, it is bad enough with a real watch for someone to lose their life, but if it was a fake watch as well,
it's just so unnecessary, the whole thing. I mean, for God's sake, it's a bloody...
Well, let's just hope whoever's caused this situation yesterday, or the day before, I think it was yesterday, I believe. Let's just hope that gets investigated to the full, and someone ends up paying the price for it, at the end of the day. That's the only good that can come out of this terrible situation now. If they get away with it as well, it's 10 times worse, isn't it?
Yeah. Buzzacino, I'm keeping an eye on these comments from Buzzacino. I'm trying to read them whilst I'm talking to you guys to see if one or two of them are looking all right. Let's have a look. Buzzacino, here today, gone tomorrow. We feel the joy, pain and the sorrow. Some wish they had more time to borrow. So seize the day. Do not die hollow. I like that.
I bet that took a while to type.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I bet it did.
Was it all spelled correctly as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, Boss Levels. Emmanuel Udunlami was his name, Danny, and he was a music manager celebrating his 32nd birthday.
Oh, you was right, Paul. I thought he was a film producer, but yeah, that's cool. A couple of people are telling me to turn my mic up, Paul. So I'm going to quickly.
Yeah, go on,
try.
turn it up then.
If that cuts me out, mate,
I'll keep turning it down, Danny, but you can turn it up.
Right. How's that compared to how it was?
No different.
No different at all.
That's not bad. Jack, I'll give you a last shout, Jack, but that's it for tonight, mate. Paul, we need to get Nick into number 10. He's electable. Trust me. Well, I tell you what, Jack, if you tell me how that is possible, I'd certainly listen. But unfortunately, my friend, I don't think it is possible. That's just my view. It's not having a go at Nick. I like Nick. I've met him. I've interviewed him. I agree with most of what he says. Not quite all, but the vast majority of what he says is on our side. But we have to keep it real. I'm sorry. Moonraker says jail is not a deterrent also. For some, I don't think that's a question. I think for some, it's not a deterrent. For some, it's an occupational hazard. It's their second home. But unfortunately, in this country, we don't really have many other deterrents. I mean, what other deterrents is there? I mean,
as I say, Paul, it's got to go more towards the end user, isn't it? At the end of the day, if you buy a stolen watch with the knowledge that you bought a stolen watch, then the crime's got to come back to bite you as well. If that involved what happened a couple of days ago, then that's a serious crime, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we go back, Danny. We go back to the efforts to put an end to theft in general. I won't keep saying watch crime, but the way to end crime in many respects is to make the item they're stealing have no value. And you can only take away the value if everyone is frightened to buy it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not going to happen, is it? You're going to have it. You're going to have the intrinsic value of the gold or platinum or the diamonds, and the watch can then just be stripped and melted for that value.
But a lot of the watches that are nicked are stainless. That's got no metal value. I mean, a penny, if that, you know.
But stealing someone's phone or their watch, they're both the same crime. One is a £1,000 iPhone. The other one is potentially a 10 grand or more watch. It's the same crime. Yeah. So how do you legislate against that and give a stronger sentence because the value of the item was more money?
Yeah. We'll just tidy up on this UKIP thing. The Trash Panda says, Paul ditched UKIP. I like Paul. I'm a Cockney geezer too, but he changes parties like he changes his underpants. Trash Panda, I've never been a member of UKIP. I've only ever been a member of 2 political parties. The second party that I've joined was just this week, Advance UK. So up until this week, I'd only ever been a member of 1 political party in my life, and that was a party called For Britain, run by Anne-Marie Waters. So I haven't changed my political allegiances or my parties, my friend. I've never been a member of UKIP. I've voted UKIP in the past, but that's as far as it went. Just to clear that up so that people don't grab hold of that message and think that I was a member of UKIP and that I've dumped them, etc. Just for the record, I wasn't a member of UKIP. Groucho, I like this one. We need an alligator Alcatraz. Did you know, boys? Did you know? Changing the subject slightly. Did you know? Have you ever been to Alcatraz, by the way, any of you two guys?
Sorry, Paul, you cut out when you said that, mate. What did you say?
Have you ever been to Alcatraz?
No.
It's a brilliant place to go. I mean, it's
I'd like to go there.
Oh, it's fantastic. They lock you in Al Capone's cell and turn the light out. But did you know that in those waters, and there's a video on YouTube right now, if you put in great white Alcatraz, there are great whites in that water around Alcatraz.
Really?
There are indeed.
I wouldn't fancy the swim, mate.
If you go on YouTube, and this is how crazy people are, get this, it gets even worse. We're going to really change subjects now. We're going to talk a bit about sharks in a moment because it is the 50th anniversary of the making of what for me was one of the greatest ever films, Jaws.
Jaws, yeah.
I was 14 when I went to see Jaws with one of my not me first, but one of my first girlfriends. I remember it to this day. And that film was ingrained in my brain, and still to this day, every now and again, I'll watch Jaws on TV, a magnificent film. But I've got a story about the Jaws situation in a minute. But going back to Alcatraz, if you go on YouTube and type in great white shark Alcatraz, you will see a great white shark breaching the water, coming out of the water right by Alcatraz. Every year, they have a swim from Alcatraz back to shore. Are these people start raving mental?
Mental, yeah.
They've never seen the film, Paul. They've never seen Jaws. Let's put it that way.
But he's a guarantee. Go on, Kev. What was you going to say?
I was going to say the film Escape from Alcatraz, was
Clint
that
Eastwood.
fiction or was it a true story about someone that did escape?
It was based,
a true.
based on a true story. Yeah, based on a true story. Clint Eastwood, yeah. But I mean, look, it's a little fact for you. Every single person that has ever been killed by a shark was wet at the time of the attack, right? So if you don't go in the water,
facts.
if you don't go in the water, right, you're not going to get eaten by a shark. But you know how these people know full well that there's great whites circling around Alcatraz and they swim from the. It beats me. But here's the thing I was going to talk to you about the film Jaws, because it's the 50th anniversary. How many people out there realised that the whole film Jaws was actually based around a series of real life events in a real place in America back in 1916? And again, if you get 5 minutes and you're looking for something to watch, if you go onto YouTube and type in Jaws 1916, watch what happened. And the events that took place in America in 1916 inspired Peter Bletchley, was his name? Can't remember his name now. Something like that, to write the book, which then went into the film. Peter Benchley, that was his name. Peter Benchley wrote Jaws, and real life events. I think there were 5 people killed by a rogue shark in the space of a week, and many of the scenes that were in Jaws were adapted from these real life events. Not many people know that. 1916 Jaws. Type it into YouTube, have a watch of it. Absolutely amazing.
I saw an Instagram reel today of a basking shark in Marbella.
Oh, really?
I was there. there.
Have you seen it?
The knife looked big, didn't it? It
Huge
really
thing.
looked big.
Yeah.
I was,
but a
I was
basking
there
shark,
at the time.
they don't attack, do they?
No.
Apparently
That
not,
Kev,
no.
that was later confirmed as a woman from Margate. It wasn't a shark at all. Let's have a little look here. 2 up, 2 down. Obviously a West Ham fan. Mobile phone thieves get £200 per new phone, hence 5 per shift, £1,000. Exactly. Steve has a different point of view. Stop buying these watches if you want to see changes in the law. They're status symbols and not worth anything like the price tags, and I've owned many, but without paperwork and boxes, they're worthless. Going to disagree with all of that, I'm afraid, Steve.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
A couple of grand on a Rolex, 1,500 quid, £2,000 less if you haven't got box and papers, but it's still got massive value.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone out there's got a Rolex without box and papers that they want to give away, I'd be more than happy to pay you for it. Steve, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, of course there's status symbols, but so are cars, so are nice clothes in many respects. There are many things that are status symbols. Where you live could be seen as being a status symbol, but in a modern civilized society, people should be allowed to have those status symbols. Otherwise, you just live in a communist regime where everyone has got the same, nothing. That's not where I would want to be. But stopping buying things is not the way to deal with criminals. The way to deal with criminals is to deal with their criminality, in my opinion. But thanks, Steve. Appreciate that, mate. Do many Americans holiday in Spain? Just asking. They do, actually. There's a lot of Americans coming to live in Spain.
Yeah.
DJ Deadpool, yo, Danny, did you see Paul's jacket in that video? Crime against fashion.
Didn't want to say anything.
I can take it, Danny. I can take it.
I know you can. I know you can. There's actually someone that's given you a bit of a kicking on my channel, Ian. You'll know who that is. You've retracted a couple of things. Can you just ban him, please?
I'm getting some stick.
Yeah, well, it's only one person, but
I'll put it up, mate. I don't mind. Put it up.
Do you know what, Paul? I ain't even going to give them the benefit. They're gone anyway, as far as I know.
Yeah.
They've been
Danny,
little chips all night, mate. Little chips all night.
Mark Smith, Danny. Well, gives them something to do, Danny. If I've given them something to do on a Friday night, if that's all they've got to do on a Friday night, mate. I've succeeded. Happy days. I've given them something to do. Mark Smith, Danny, you wearing your summer watch?
I am, mate. I am. It's a nice little orange number. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Patsy YK, hello everyone. I'm in so late.
Yes, you're here now. That's all that matters.
Can you, Kev? Can you read that one? Can you see it, Danny? Metis, Memphis, blah, 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 blah. Friday, drink more.
Yes.
But let me tell you,
I'm empty. If anyone's listening.
I doubt it, Kev.
Yeah, so
I doubt it, Kev.
But I'm only on the water, I'm afraid. Recovering. From a long week.
I'm just trying to get up down to looking through the chat.
What do we say, Danny? Una más,
por favor.
Danny, how is your Spanish coming on?
Not as good as Sophie and Carter's, I'm going to admit.
Well, we know. I'm not talking. Listen, we know that Sophie and Carter are pretty fluent, but what about you?
Yeah. I can order a beer, a large beer, a small beer, a glass of red wine, a gin and tonic. I can order all that sort of stuff, but when it comes to conversations with Spanish people, I do struggle a little bit.
They speak very fast, don't they?
Yeah, pretty much. I blame the boxing, Paul. It's never been good for my brain, I don't think.
Yeah. Actually, I'll tell you what, I'll let you in a little secret. Danny was on the old punch bag the other night. What do they call them, Danny?
Oh, yeah,
you know, the things that you have outside of the fair or like whatever, where
the punch ball
where you punch the ball. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to be on the end of one of I wouldn't want to be on the end of one of your right-handers, mate. You might have to take it a bit easy when we eventually get in the ring together.
Well, I'm in my training now, mate, hence why I'm drinking water.
Have you set a date for that?
Well, we're waiting to see when Wembley Stadium becomes available, Kev.
2032, Kev.
Yeah.
Mark says, Danny, is that the Duckworth press decks? It is indeed.
It is indeed, yeah.
Who to be? I used to wear a Canada Goose, now I wear a donkey jacket.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah. James Dillon, Alex Phillips from Talk TV was saying she gets bad attention. I must say, I bet she looks quite the Eiffel walking down the road. Steady, James, steady.
We're not even past the watershed, are we? Oh, yeah, we are.
Yeah, just about.
Well, we are in Spain anyway.
Steve Wright, joking apart, your teeth will have grown back by the time Plod turned up. Exactly. Oh, that's funny. Jackie Lee, thank you, Jackie. Looking forward to your interview with the other Danny Monday night. Going to be interesting. Don't lose your rag. That's what he wants. Thank you, Jackie. So for anyone that doesn't know, on Monday night, I will be live over at Danny Roscoe's channel. If you don't know who Danny is a patriot, a good guy as far as I'm concerned. I have no problems with Danny. Danny is, I think he's unnecessarily dug me out on one or two occasions recently.
And me.
And you, Danny, yeah. So I spoke to Danny and said, Danny, look, I'd like to write a reply, if you don't mind. He's been very gentlemanly and said, yeah, that's absolutely fine. So I'll be on Danny's channel on Monday night. I think it's 9 p.m. UK time, but just double check that, where I'll be answering any questions that Danny has for me. And we'll take it from there. It should be fun. Jackie, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. This is a weird one, right? This is, guys, you'll have to excuse me for a minute. Adam Tyrell.
Hold on, Paul. Hold on.
Go on.
Adam's been giving you a lot of big ups.
Oh, I
recently.
know.
Yeah,
well,
yeah. I'm just letting you know.
Adam, you know, look, mate, you've given me so much grief in the past. You know, and I don't want to be on bad terms here, Adam, but when I read some of the things that you said about me on other channels, it's outrageous. So, you know, come on, do us both a favour and let's be nice to each other. Jackie Lee, do yourself justice, Paul, with Danny on Monday night. Jackie, look, you know what? Thank you so much. The thing is that all I do is tell the truth. I won't even prepare for this interview. I don't have to prepare for it, because whatever question anyone throws at me, any question, I have the answer right ready in my heart, because all I've ever done is my best for everyone. If people don't want to accept that, that's fine, but I sleep very well, and I haven't got to sit here and think about making up stories or making up excuses. I've got to do none of that. And the support that I've had from you guys out there this week has been absolutely mind-boggling.
Paul, the reason you haven't got to rehearse it or plan it or try and get your head in the right space is because it's the truth.
It's the truth.
There
exactly.
you go. And I
exactly.
know, listen, right, I know Paul better than most, right? And I can tell you, mate, they don't come any better. I'm going to be honest with you. So people can say and do what they want to say and print and, you know, text and put the comments up and stuff. They don't get much better, mate. So there you go. That's my opinion.
Kevin might tell you different.
Yeah, all right, Kev. Yeah, we'll have a chat afterwards, mate.
He just mooted me there. I was going to say something, but he turned my volume down.
Yeah.
Marcus Hart says, always followed by no arrest made. I tell you what, Marcus, that's a good point. I mean, for me, it was always not enough evidence. You know, that was always their excuse, not enough evidence. I mean, I'll just give you, I won't go through it and bore people, but I'll just give you one instance where that contributed to what I feel is, you know, led to my PTSD. When people say to me, what was the worst part of being robbed, Paul? What was the worst part of the whole thing? Was it someone standing in front of you wearing a mask, brandishing a knife, telling you they were going to kill you, and you believing that they meant that, or the way the trees treated you in the aftermath, after you defended yourself, after you defended your life against that individual? Most definitely the answer is the police's response to me kept me awake far more than what happened to me with the guys wearing the masks. Because bad men do what they do. You understand it, you accept it, and you move on. We all know that there are bad people out there. But when
it's not personal usually, is it?
It's not. It's nothing personal. You're exactly right. It's not personal. Yeah. It's not personal. And I've always said, and this is a bit kind of perverse in some ways, I've always said I actually ended up with more respect for the guys that robbed me than the police. And I'll tell you why. The guys that robbed me did a pretty good job. And the police failed me and let me down badly. And I'll give you one example, because I know there are people out there say, oh, give the police a break, blah, blah, blah. Look, I know all about how hard they work. I know they run towards danger when we're running away. I know all those superlatives. But let me give you an example. On the last robbery, the most serious one where I could have lost my life, there were 6 CCTV cameras in place that the police initially denied were even there. denied they were even there. After I went to the vicinity to video the cameras and show them that the cameras were there and that they were either lying or they were incorrect, they then told me they were not working. I then later proved that, I can't remember the exact figures, but so many people that day had received parking fines from those cameras. So we know they were working. And if they'd have studied those cameras at a particular time, I gave them a 10-minute window. If they'd have even bothered to look at those cameras during that 10-minute window that I gave them, which, by the way, we did our own investigations to find out what time that 10-minute window was, I believe they would have caught the people that did it. They also failed to interview witnesses. And there was some other CCTV evidence that was available to them 6 months after the robbery. The guy that had the CCTV evidence rang me at my shop and said, Paul, are the police ever going to come and pick this up? Because otherwise I'm going to bin it. And I was amazed. I was devastated because I thought they'd already picked it up and they'd already reviewed it. They hadn't even picked it up, let alone reviewed it. There you go. And that is about 0.5% of the story. It is what it is.
Sorry, mate, I'm just replying to some messages here on as well.
Many messages again tonight. Alan says, I'm so glad that I'm old enough not to need a phone in my face 24/7. If it wasn't for my job, I wouldn't even have a phone.
Oh, that would be lovely, wouldn't it?
Danny
Phone.
said that the other week, didn't you?
I did exactly that. Yeah. The day that I don't need a phone, I'm going to get rid of it. Yeah.
Adam Bennett said, I joined Advance UK, and guys, everyone watching tonight, my honest plea and advice to you will be to get yourselves over and join Advance UK. I've said it before and I'll say it again, that I see them and Ben as our best option moving forward. I watched Rupert earlier on the Lotus Eaters, and another great interview. And Rupert mentioned something, interestingly enough. Sorry, guys, I'm not dragging you into politics here. I'll just talk about this on myself, right? I watched Rupert talking on Lotus Eaters, and he mentioned the very thing that I said earlier this week that was initially my number one ambition, was we spoke about trying to take over reform from within. And that was always what was on my mind, but unfortunately, I don't think that's quite going to happen. Don Keefe, OTI, Paul, your story is a terrible indictment of the police whose reputation is already at an all-time low. You need to share it with the mainstream media. Don, my story did appear in some of the mainstream media. Unfortunately, the mainstream media are the mouthpiece of the police in many respects. Simone Day, what a shambles this nation has become, so great once, now ruined. Kev, would you ever consider leaving the UK? I mean, I know that we spoke about this in the past. My advice to you in the past, as a businessman, you being a businessman, would be to get out, because I think they're coming for you. I think they're coming for you. I think they're coming for your business. I think they're coming for your whatever you've got saved. How are you feeling at the moment about everything that's going on? I mean, we're heading into another recession. They're coming after you, more tax, national insurance. What are you going to have left, Kev?
I'm looking at options. My son's in Spain. You guys are out there. Well, I'm coming out at the end of the month to visit you and have a look around, have a look at the options. But we've also considered other countries as well. Right now, I don't think it's the right time. I'm comfortable here. What I do, I just stay in my lane. I'm under the radar, do my thing, and do it as well as I can do, and don't feel the pressure that those do maybe in, other cities. So
What
for now, I'm comfortable.
Yeah, from a business viewpoint, Kev, do you not fear what this Labour government are going to come after you for? I mean, you're not going to have, every pound that you earn these days, I mean, they want their £2 of flesh, don't they?
They do, yeah, and it's something I'm aware of. So, I'm looking at other options. But like I say, it's not a thing that you just get up and leave tomorrow, is it? We've got family here to consider, and
Yeah.
the finances of it all. Do we sell up entirely? Do we rent? Do we move and rent there? So many things to look at, but those are all things I'll consider when
Down the line.
when we come and see you, and
Yeah.
look in the other places we'll consider as well.
Excellent. Sheila, there's a great documentary out there about the escape from Alcatraz. Fascinating. I'll have to have a look at that. Is that on YouTube, Sheila? SAFC, Tom, there are a lot of sharks in Parliament. There is. I've just realised, Tom, that you're a Sunderland supporter and you're hobnobbing it with Ian, who's a Newcastle fan. There you go. Talk about I can unite anyone. Look, we've got Newcastle and Sunderland fans getting on here. John Smith, sharks are also on the land. Ain't that true? Bruce was the scariest shark movie in history. I don't think I've seen that one, to be fair.
Paul, I've got a couple of comments here.
Yeah, go for it, Danny.
Kev, don't leave the UK because they'll end up having to pay more money in tax if you leave. All the people that are paying their fair share of tax, mate.
I'm contributing on their behalf.
Well, that's it, mate. That's it.
Let's try and get down the chat there. Danny, scariest thing about sharks, the music. We need a bigger boat.
The other thing about leaving is I don't feel that I'm ready to fully retire. I'd want to be active, and trying to set up a new business in another place, having to learn the tax laws there and just the general ways of going about what I do in another country would be entirely different.
We'll have a little chat about that in a sec. Scotty John, who's obviously a Glasgow Rangers fan, looking at his picture there, it's believed it was bull sharks. Yeah, you're right. The one in 1916 you're talking about, because they were in brackish water, not great whites. Yep. Scotty, good comment. Yeah, Kev, I must admit, I mean, I've been here now for a couple of 3 months now. And I've got to admit, I mean, you guys know me. You've known me for a long time. I'm a doer. I'm always looking for something to get up to. I want to be involved in this, that, whatever. I mean, I'd love to get involved in something out here, but I'm not quite sure what, to be honest. I'm really not sure. I've got a couple of people looking at the law out here, what sort of regulations and licenses will be required. But there's, businesses that I've seen out here that I think would work. I think boat hire would go down very well, whether you were either hiring the boat with or without a skipper. I think that quad bikes, the hire of quad bikes, the hire of UTVs, these fancy, like, do you know what I mean by UTV?
Yeah.
That Polaris thing you sent me the other
Yeah,
day.
Polaris, the Polaris stuff. I think there's a business to be had there. Certainly the bars. We was talking to a guy, me and my daughter was out, and my son-in-law, we was in Benidorm the other day, and we had a chat with an English guy who's got a bar there, and they said they absolutely smash it down there. And they're only working 9 till 5. They do a bit of breakfast in the morning, bit of lunch in the afternoon, and they're absolutely smashing it. But, you know, Kev, I don't see me cooking beans on toast. You know, it's not my.
I don't know, Paul. You'd look
Well,
quite
you'd
good.
burn
in
the
chef's
beans
hat.
full, wouldn't you?
I burn the beans. Yeah. No, I mean, it's not. Whatever I get involved in, doesn't matter what it is in life. I need to be passionate about it. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I've
why
got to be-
boats make sense. You know boats. You've had
Yeah.
you've had dinghies, haven't you? And rowing boats and canoes.
And he
Oh,
can't
yeah.
swim, Kev. He can't swim.
Pardon?
You don't need to swim. That's what life jackets are for. The Padrash Pandas' basking sharks are harmless. They absolutely are harmless, yeah.
The thing is, if you see one in the water, I wouldn't really want to try and analyse whether it was a basking shark or a great white or something. I'd just be like, gone. There's no way I'd hang about to try and sort of work out.
You wouldn't
I'll
want
tell
to take the chance, would you?
I wouldn't
I'll
want to
tell you
know.
what. I tell you, we're finished tonight's live stream with a story that some of you may have heard me tell before, but I'll tell it again anyway. Seeing as we're on the subject of sharks, right? So, ever since I saw Jaws, I always wanted to see a great white in real life. I wanted to see the real deal. So I don't know, about 10 years ago, whenever it was now, I can't even remember. My wife said to me, where are we going on holiday this year? What do you fancy? I said, I don't know. She said, well, look, why don't we fulfill your ambition and go to South Africa and you can go out and see the great whites? I said, that sounds lovely. So we booked up. I'll tell you when it was. I think it was the year after the World Cup in South Africa. So I don't know when that is, but someone might be able to tell me. We went all the way to South Africa. We stayed in Cape Town. We booked up a trip, as you do. And a bit like our canoeing trip the other day, Danny, they don't actually tell you the pickup point, how far it is from to get to where you're going, right? So we've travelled like 15 minutes from the hotel to the meeting point. When we get in the back of this truck, they tell us it's 2 hours to get to the boat, right? So we drive for 2 hours to get to the boat. And then when you get to the boat, you get on the boat and then the captain tells you it's an hour and a half to the point where they stop and you see the sharks.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm already like, I'm not the best of travellers. I'm in the back of this van and I'm already feeling a little bit, I've not had any breakfast as such, you know, and I wasn't feeling brilliant. So we get out on the boat, bearing in mind that I'm used to boats, I'm used to the water, I don't normally get seasick. Off we went, we get to this place where we're going, where you can't see the shore, it's that far off land, and they start chumming the water, right? And now the boat is standing still, the boat is now anchored. And for anyone that doesn't know boats, if you want to avoid seasickness, sit down, keep still, look ahead, do not look down, look at the horizon, and just be calm. The trouble is, when the boat stops, even when you look at the horizon, it's still going up and down, up and down. Anyway, cut a long story short, or as short as I can, within 5 minutes of the boat stopping, I was violently seasick. And I mean, the worst seasickness you could ever imagine. All I saw was one thing, and I'd paid to go into the cage to go shark diving, and you know when you get in and you're actually in the water with them, I'd paid for all that. It was about 600 quid or something stupid, and all I saw was one fin, and I spent the entire trip with my head over the side of the boat thinking, if a great white shark leapt out of the water right now and bit my ear off, it would be doing me a bloody favour. Right? And the boat was full of people laying around, puking up and feeling rough. When we got back to shore, the tour guide herself, who was also ill, said that she'd been doing this trip for years and that was the worst trip she'd ever been on. For seasickness.
Was it the water then that was just not?
Kev, it was just up. Literally, the boat was there 1 minute, the next minute it's up there, the next minute it was down, then it was up, and it was down, then it was up. And now, when you're moving, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
even when I've had my own boats, there has been moments when I've had my own boats. If you stop for too long in rough water, you can feel it coming on. You think, I best start getting a move on here, because if I look down there, I'm going to start feeling rough. But all the time you're traveling, it's not too bad. The moment you stop, that's when you can get a problem, especially if you're looking downwards. Marie Muggs Davis, Robert Shaw's Quint and the Indianapolis speech was awesome. It was indeed. Let's just go back to that speech, that Quint speech. Do you know the one we mean, Danny?
No, I don't, mate.
You don't know it?
No.
Kev, do you know which one I mean?
I don't know.
God blimey, you need to both watch Jaws again tonight. Look, so they're out at night, they're hunting the shark, and it's dark, and the boat has stopped.
Sitting in the boat, weren't they, all getting drunk?
Yeah, they're sitting in the boat, getting drunk, and Quint gives a speech about the Indianapolis. The Indianapolis was a boat that was sunk in the Second World War, was delivering the Hiroshima bomb, and it sunk, nobody knew, and a lot of people got eaten by sharks. But I was 14 years old when I watched that in a dark, smoke-filled back then cinema, and it just stuck with me for the rest of my life. Brilliant film, brilliant speech. The Trash Panda, I've touched whale sharks in Oslo, Philippines, recommended. Wow. Kev's touched a few whales in his time.
Dolphins.
Oh dear. AJ Audits, the drone I use for my channel is called the Shark. Wow. Yeah, bitten a few people, I guess. Listen, guys, I've really enjoyed that tonight. Something a little bit different.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Kev, good to see you back, mate.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Life in general, good for you?
Very nice. Yes. Yeah, enjoying it. Yeah, doing what I do as well as I can.
What's your favourite car that you got in at the moment, Kev?
Right now, I've just got in a Ferrari California.
Oh, very nice. What year?
And it's a 2011.
Good value for money, Kev, haven't they?
Yeah, I made a video of collecting it from Scotland. I sold it to a guy in Scotland who owned a bagpipe factory. This was in 2020 when we couldn't travel, or at least customers couldn't, but dealers could. So I delivered it to him. Wife and I went, made a 2-day trip of it actually, went and stayed halfway somewhere near Scotch Corner, continued on the next day, delivered it to him, had a tour of his bagpipe factory, which was very interesting.
Did you play?
And, no, but I didn't. They're bloody expensive. They're like $5,000 a set.
Are they really?
Yeah, some are at least. And he sells a lot to Japan and out to the Far East, which was interesting to know.
I've got to tell you, the bagpipes are one of my favourite instruments. Probably I mean, listen, guys, if you ever went into battle back in the day, if I ever had to go into battle, I'd want to be standing behind the bagpipes. You'd follow the bagpipes in the hell, and you'd walk straight through it. That's my belief.
Well, it was interesting to see them being made. Yeah, so sold the car to him, bought his Bentley, got that back home, ended up selling that, and then he contacted me about a month ago and said, right, I've had some fun with it, but it's time to move on, get something else. Would I buy it back? And I was on a plane, went up there. I had him take it to the local Ferrari specialist to be checked over and serviced. Car is absolutely perfect mechanically, and I've had it back here and got it machine polished and ceramic coated. It's absolutely gleaming.
What colour is it, Kev?
It's black.
Black.
Oh, right. With cream interior?
Yeah. With black. The seats are diamond quilted racing seats, carbon backed. They're
lovely.
Actually very, very comfortable. They don't look it, but they are.
Can I ask the price on that, Kev?
59.99.
That's what I'm saying. It's for a Ferrari convertible, California.
Yeah, hardtop convertible, 34,000 miles, the most perfect service history, serviced annually. Well,
less than 60 grand. Paul's sitting there thinking.
And when you start it up, you can hear the bagpipes.
Oh, and it's got a sports exhaust on it as well, so it's really loud.
Is it?
But funnily enough, I've got the original exhaust from when I sold it all that time ago. He wanted it on the sports exhaust, so I remembered I've got the original one still in the garage.
So that's in the deal, is it?
So it can be, yeah. I'll let someone have that if they want it.
Stephen from Leeds, Charlie Veach has got some balls going out in major cities getting attacked by the invaders. I'll tell you what, Charlie's videos crack me up. I've got to be honest with you. They absolutely crack me up. John Smith, check out the Rhyming Slang sermon with Ronnie Barker. I think I've seen that. Kev, give your website one more shout out before you go, and then the price of that Ferrari can come down to, if you can get it down to 6995. Can you get it down to 6995, Kev, and ship it to Spain for me?
I do have a Nissan Leaf electric car for 5995. That's a bit of you.
It's the wrong badge though, Kev. I'll fancy another Ferrari. I mean, 6995, Kev, that's a fair offer.
This is red, and you could swap the badges up. In fact, I'd even swap the badges over for you if it's a badge thing.
Oh, you're lovely, mate. What a star!
I got a lovely Aston Martin DBS convertible. That's a cheap car, cheap relatively to what.
Kev, if we get into a third car, I'm going to be looking at commission here, mate. So,
what's that one, Kev? What's the Aston Martin?
DBS Volante.
Nice. And what money is that, Kev?
That's 55.
That's even cheaper.
Very cheap. I've got the cheapest Vantage in the country on Auto Trader right now at 17.5. 2006 car was 60,000 miles.
So just trying to help any viewers out there, Kev, you know, whilst we're on the subject of cars before we end up. I mean, you obviously buy cars as well. I know you do. So if anyone's out there with a car to sell, or, you know, what's your criteria? Because one thing I can tell you about Kev, so if anyone's got any bangers to sell out there, he's not your man. I'll tell you what, he's the fussiest car dealer I've ever met. In fact, he's the fussiest bloke I've ever met. Kev, when it comes to,
he'll come round with his file of facts, have a look at your car.
And I'm very particular, but it serves me well.
Yeah, it does. I like, in fact, Kev, I'm only kidding. I really like the way you do business, to be fair.
People ask me what I sell, and I say anything from a Fiat to a Ferrari, $5,000 to 50 grand or over, as long as it's a nice car. So that's the important thing to me, and it's got to be a nice car. I can't have missing history, mismatched tires. I got a Jaguar in part exchange recently, which ordinarily I would have traded on because it was dented in the back bumper, had scuffs all down the side. It lived in Cornwall. The guy had driven it down narrow lanes, you know, the bush scratches that you get down the sides of the car, all four wheels curbed. But it had the most perfect service history. All the jobs, the big major jobs have been done. Had recently had a brand new set of Pirelli tyres, and mechanically it was lovely. It just needed making smarter. And you can always make a car with history smarter. You can't make a smart car have a history. So that's why they've got to be a nice car.
There are probably some dealers out there that could, Kev, but
yeah, that's true.
That's not where you want to be, right?
No, well, that's not me, is it?
No,
so
exactly.
yeah, I'm in the market for buying. I've got my buying boots on. Nice cars. Obviously, the closer the better. But I do travel, and we were in Scotland the other day. But of course, the margin that I need in a car like that for the distance and the value of it, and the bulk factor potentially has to be higher. So at the right money, I'll buy anything.
Yeah. Kev, looking forward to seeing you when you come out in what is it, a couple of weeks now?
Yep, 31st.
Danny, no doubt I'll see you soon. I'll end with this comment from Peter. Paul, what makes people think Ben Habib can win? Good question, Peter. The honest answer to that is, look, I don't know. I don't know if Ben can win. I don't know if it's possible. It's an uphill struggle. It's a battle. But I feel it's it's one it's a cause that's worth supporting. That's my view. And I always say that everyone's entitled to their own views and they can support and back whoever they like. The main thing is we must all remember that the vast majority of us that are watching this now are all on the same side, or supposed to be. And we must have the unity. Without the unity, I'll say it for the millionth time, we are screwed. Right, Danny, thank you so much for joining us. Always lovely to see you.
Cheers, mate.
And Kev, as I said, lovely to see you back, mate. Been too long. Hope it's not too long before you come on again. Is it still light there, Kev?
Just getting dusk now, yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's actually now it's pitch black out here. Danny, I don't know if you...
We're an hour in front, though.
Did you see the moon last night, Danny? It was
Yeah,
blood
it was
red,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Red.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Was it? Was the
looked
moon
lovely.
red?
Full moon
Was
as
it?
well.
Yeah.
Full moon.
Kev, was it red where you were last night?
Didn't see it, no.
No. You like a full moon, Kev, don't you? You can come out your coffin then, can't you?
Or half moon. That's the Jaff Cake advert, isn't it?
That's what?
Total eclipse.
Total eclipse.
Yeah,
Right, guys.
Jaffa Cake advert.
Have a lovely weekend, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. Look after yourselves and always look after those lovely children. We'll see you soon. God bless everyone.
Cheers,
Thanks
everyone.
for having me on. Good night, everyone.
Pleasure, Kev.
Mate. See you later.